How's it going? Ready, set, app. This is Akpuda, CEO, founder of the Katalyst agency, and I guess this is a little bio about me.
Tell me about your educational background.
So I studied business administration and information systems at UNC Greensboro, so go Spartans, and it was a great experience. I definitely have a lot of credit for the curriculum and just being in that environment and being able to formally learn development and DevOps and things like sort of that nature. So yeah, pretty cool.
So what is your current job and what is a typical day on the job?
So I'm actually a business analyst for a company called TIAA. Those of you who don't know, it's Teachers Insurance Annuities Association. But essentially, I am a business analyst for the company, and I work within individual and institutional operations. And what that basically means, in the grand scheme of things, is I'm helping to automate formerly mundane and very, very heavy lifting processes. So think about just making your job, your day-to-day job and your day-to-day task a lot easier using technology. So I use anywhere from Excel to Python to JavaScript to automate and speed up these processes so that the ecosystem and the workflow can be a lot better for the entire team. And Tim here does the same with me. So yeah, we're a team, and I love what I do.
How many years of specific IT training did you undergo?
So I taught myself first taught myself how to code when I was about maybe 16, 17 years old. Going back like maybe 6, 7 years now. And so along the way, just, was self-taught. I call it YouTube University. A lot of people refer to it as that. So anywhere from the back of Google's, trenches, or, anywhere I can find information, books, anywhere. So I'd say like a grand total of 7 years. But I guess, specific and, how I got to my niche, I kind of look at myself as a product designer, which is anywhere from like app development or web development, basically just, the aesthetics of it, or as a data analyst, almost on the data side. So a lot of research, a lot of development, a lot of back-end stuff, scraping and, for other research purposes. So, but I've been doing those two for maybe about the last 4 years. So yeah, if you want to call it, I guess a grand total of things, maybe 7 years, but specifically to what I'm doing now, I got to go about 4 years.
Did you want to be an IT professional growing up, and if not, what led you to choose this career?
So actually I didn't. I started out all over the place actually. I always knew I wanted to go into business, so however I kind of fit into that margin. Originally I actually wanted to just be an entrepreneur. Funny enough, I actually wanted to own commercial property and kind of be someone who just had a jack of all trades. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do, anywhere from sales, business. But I guess what led me to going to IT was my senior year in high school. I watched the Social Network, which is the movie about how Facebook was started. And granted, I had already been kind of exposed to to coding and everything like that. But I think it was my first time really visualizing and say, hey, well, I can see myself doing this. And then when I got to college, I think I just took the baton and ran from there. So yeah, probably within the past 5 years, I would say that's when I knew for a fact, this is where I wanted to be in terms of IT and career-wise.
So give us a particularly memorable event or crisis from your time, either on your current job or jobs in the past.
I mean, as a programmer, as a developer, you're gonna have issues. Your code isn't gonna run in some of the times. A lot of the times, really. I would say probably like the worst experience that I can probably remember was at my first internship when I was in school, when I was an undergrad. It was at ICANN Solutions. Basically, they were an EHR system, so they actually created software for healthcare clinicians and physicians. We created custom software, basically like a dashboard system, for they did their ticketing and their billing and all that. And I was actually working on the back end of it. And I remember, before there was only one person working on the code, so I got there, and this is a programming language called .NET, otherwise known as MVC, Model View Controller. So I don't know if anyone's heard about that, but it's very, 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 very complex. It's written in C#, and it's working with databases and networks, so it can be very, very tricky. I think that was like my first real learning curve coming onto the job anywhere. So I think that was like my biggest challenge. And just overcoming that was just going back to what I knew, which was YouTube University, and just teaching myself. I ended up getting a certification, my Microsoft certification. So and luckily my boss at the time, he had a lot of connects within Microsoft community in terms of all their resources and materials for studying. So I took maybe like 3 months out of that and really just went hardcore. It took maybe the summer of 2016. That's when I really stepped in my game and got more comfortable with programming and stuff. So I think that was one of my biggest hurdles that I can say I overcame looking at it now.
Have you done any app development?
So I've actually like scrubbed in on a few projects before, done like little side projects that I've never like pushed into production, or I've worked alongside from like the DevOps side, from a project manager perspective. So I guess like the logistics around it, the structure, the operational side of it. I've been a developer, helping out in terms of product design. So I've had my hands on like little parts of the project, or little iterations of the project, but I'm actually currently working on a mobile application I've been working on maybe the past 3 years. And this is my first, project, actually being a lead product designer, kind of like the mind behind it, and I'm actually going to be developing it. So I think that designing and developing and, kind of creating a vision for it is this is my first time actually, encompassing all that together. So I'm really excited about it, and I'm probably going to be looking to, launch this fall. So, anyone out there, you guys looking for, opportunity, hey, we're always looking, and definitely I'm always game to, to have some pretty dope developers around me. So yeah, I'm actually working on one right now, and hopefully we're looking for a November release date. Definitely be including some more details, and hopefully by the time you guys get this, we'll be closer to the launch point. So I'll be able to explain more in depth then. So.
What is the one thing you wish you knew before entering the IT field?
I wish I knew secondary education. At the same time, it's really about, the intangibles you bring to the table going onto a job, people are graduating. I don't know what the actual statistics are, but CS degrees and IT degrees are, actually becoming a lot more prevalent now. Everybody's kind of jumping on ship in terms of, hey, this is the new sexy and the new cool profession. So, let's jump into it, and everybody's kind of looking for their way to fit in. But, what they don't tell you is that aside from just having a degree, you have to have experience. You got to have a portfolio. You got to have, applicable experience. And that's what, I think just maneuvering through interviews is what I really wish I knew going into it, because yeah, I knew what I was talking about, I knew the concepts, but do you know how to get on a whiteboard and go write out, a line of code, or write out a solution? Or do you might know how to, fix a for loop, in a line of code, but can you go out there and can you, write some real logic of, how to write a function, or how to write iterative loop? I don't know. So, I mean, anything. So I think that just preparing yourself for, for the nature of the beast, fine-tailing your skills, and just practice. I didn't realize before that, yeah, you could study it, you could read it, you could see it, but the best way just to jump in it is literally just getting out the keyboard and go mashing code. You might mess up, it might break, it probably will break at some point, but the key point is just, I think learning how to code and being a better programmer or developer, or, anything in terms of the IT field, that, what it encompasses. All is about repetition. It's all about those mental and physical reps that you put in. So, and it's also just, according to how you learn as well. So realizing and understanding your learning style is probably the biggest important piece as, anybody in the IT field, and how you can use your skills and use your knowledge to just, create more value for yourself as a candidate and person in the workforce. So, but I hope this is, somewhat informational. It's something that I'm really, really, really proud to be a part of, and just, glad to see that initiatives like this really exist, because it's something that I wish I had growing up, being in your positions at that time. So just take full advantage of the opportunity, experience in itself, and, hopefully you guys are ready to, create some dope products one day, very soon as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, my name is Akpuda, CEO, co-founder of Trapcode, and former CEO, but now current CEO and founder of the Katalyst agency here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So thanks for having me again, and I hope you guys enjoyed this message. So peace out.